Hi guys, welcome to Tech Mind for You. Uh, this is in continuation of the, the next video of this Docker series that we are working on right now. Okay, in this current video, we are going to cover about the Docker Compose. What is the Docker Compose? Why we use it? What the problem the Docker Compose resolves it. Okay, so we will work on that. We will do everything in hands-on. This is the Git repository in case you want to refer. This is the chapter that we are going to look into. That is, I've created small application. I will explain the application. Then we will create a small Docker Compose file. And we will see that how we can create a multi-container in one file. Okay, we will look into that. Okay, okay. So here, let's move to the. Okay, so this is the application right now. Okay, its application is very small that we are already using it application. I have combined two application into one. Okay, so right now we have we are what till in the last chapter what we are doing, we were creating multiple container. One is container from MongoDB, another container for our application that we have, and we are trying to connect one container to the another container MongoDB container we are trying to connect from our application. So in the app dot this is only the one file app.js. Here we are creating a server, and server listening to port number 3000, and it's a means it's a would default port. If we are not giving by the hard overriding by the environment ports, we are overriding with 7000. So okay, we are not going to use 3000, we are going to use 7000. um, in this application is very same application. We are one endpoint, the get endpoint, where we are hitting the public URL and getting the response. Another is the app/app API has data, where we are passing the two parameter. Based on that, we are creating a file in different folders. I have already explained this application into the this part of the endpoint into the earlier videos. And if here in this application will try to connect to the MongoDB in different, that is running in different container, and container name was MongoDB, and the container MongoDB container will run in the same network. Because of that, and our application will able to identify that it's a MongoDB. Okay, this is the, and here you can ignore it. Okay, and here we are listening the port. This is the thing where in this we are doing it one and two endpoint, and this one, and the another endpoint is you can say MongoDB connecting to MongoDB. That both we will use it here. We have environment file where we are overriding the port is 7000. We will provide this. We will provide this file as a and Docker run command. Okay, and this is the Docker file. Docker file is very simple. Node version is 14. App directory is /app. We are copying everything, package.json from local to the app folder. We are installing everything into the app folder. We are copying everything here into the app, and we were using the environment variable 3000 by default. But as I told you, we will override with 7000, and we are exposing that 7000, and application will use a 7000 port. So this is till now, this is the whole application, and here we see we are using Express, Axio, and Mongoose for MongoDB. Okay, okay, so okay, okay. So till now, what we are doing to run this application, we are doing this. We are we are running this command. Okay, in this command what we are doing, we are just running a docker in detach mode, rm hyphen rm. When the container will stop, it will delete automatically. We are giving the name to container to MongoDB. We are means, having one network. Before this, we will create a one network. Okay, then after that, we will run this the below one. Okay, in this we are creating a network needs app, my app hyphen network, and yeah, we will use the same network here. Okay, and hyphen v is a volume data. This is a named volume where the MongoDB is storing data in this. If you go to the MongoDB image, public image, you will see that MongoDB is storing the data here. So we are providing the named volume for that, and container name is my. So till now, what we are this is what we are doing for MongoDB, running the MongoDB. After this, what we are doing, we are creating an image of our application. Okay, we are building an image. We are giving a tag my image, and after that we are running our this image. What we are doing, let me explain everything. So it's a docker run. We are giving the port So as you know that they are overriding the port 7000 and the host port is 3000. Application name will be hyphen name my app, and we are giving in our application, if you see that in this endpoint we are storing the file into the perm folder, test and perm folder. I mean perm folder is permanent, so for that we are creating a named volume. Okay, we are creating a named volume, my volume, and we are saving the data of app.perm into that. We are uh, having bind mount, so everything in we are having a one bind mount, so this one, and this is mapping to the slash app into the image. So everything inside this folder will be mapped to this. So in this case we have our node.module don't have anything and it's overriding the app folder, so we just, so it's not override. So to protect our node.js folder, node module, that folder that we created in image by npm install, we are protecting that so it will not override it. So we are giving the unnamed volume app. In this case, after giving this, the bind mount will not bind mount from this local repository. Node module will not override. Node module will not, folder will not override in app folder. Apart from that, everything will be overridden here. Okay, and here we are giving environment file name hyphen env hyphen file name. We are using the same network that we used here and my image. And after this, we are running all these commands. After this, when everything is done, we are stopping the both the container. So everything we are doing by manually means so Docker Compose. What Docker Compose is, uh, you can use Docker Compose for one or more application container to run. You can you need to create a one configuration file, everything, and you need to mention all the container, all the services into the one file, and the only one file will take care of everything. Docker Compose is not a replacement of Docker files. You can say Docker file. You need to create a Docker file. Docker Compose will use that Docker files. So if you have a 5 or 6 application, every application will have their Docker files, and Docker Compose will use each application Docker file that you need to mention into the Docker Compose file. Docker Compose is for only for one machine. All the container will run on the same machine. You can't run the by the Docker Compose. You can't run the all the means some containers in different machines. All the containers should be run on the same machines. Okay, so Docker Compose resolves the problem. Manually, we need to run a multiple run command, stop command, and delete command. Okay, build commands. So Docker Compose resolve that issue. Means you don't need to run everything manually. You need to just run one command, and everything will be up. And if you need to run one command, everything will be down. So okay, so for that, for creating a Docker file, we need to create it. Sorry, Docker Compose. We need to create a file here. That is Docker Compose dot yaml or yml, you can mention anything. Okay, so we are going to create one thing is we have a mongodb. Okay, we need to create a entry for mongodb. Another, we need to create an entry for our application. Okay, and we need to mention everything that whatever we are mentioning here, we need to mention it into the Docker compose file. We need to create for all these, we need to create a Docker compose file. So okay, so let's do it. So Docker compose, first thing is you need to give the version. Okay, what will be the version name? For that you need to go into the this docs dot, search for Docker compose versioning. You will come to this page. Okay, in the first link this will come. So in that case, after that you need to go to the version 3. This is our latest version 3.8. So we will use the version 3.8. Okay, 3.8. I will prefer to give in double quotes. Okay, 3.8. After that we need to define the services. Services means container, you can say services. So here we need to give the indentation of 2, 1, 2. After that you need to define the your, you need to give your container name. You can say Mongo. I need to give the service name is Mongo. Service name, this service name, not container name. Okay, and after that we will define everything related to the Mongo he in the, inside this. Okay, here we will give the image. Image is a public image, so we can directly give the image name image. Okay, image should be available either in your local or if not available, that Docker Compose will try to download it from the server. Okay, after that you need to give the container name. You can give the container name. Okay, here we are using Mongo. Reason is the same we are using into the app.js. when we are trying to connect to the Mongo, if you remember from the last videos. Okay, and then we need to give the, if you see the Mongo, we are detached. Don't worry about the d hyphen d. We don't give the hyphen d into this file. We will run when we making mean running the Docker Compose file. We can get the hyphen d over there. And don't worry about the hyphen rm, because that will automatically take care by the Docker Compose file. Hyphen name, we are giving the container name here. Okay, now network name we can give it. Okay, we can give the network name, and we can give here my app hyphen network. Okay, we can give it. um, After that, if you see, we have a volume, named volume, we have a named volume. Okay, data with this one, so we will use the volumes. Okay, so volumes. Okay, two spaces, and then this, and you need to give data similarly that we have given into the command. Okay, for named volume, colon slash data slash db. Okay, now you need to give the means if you need to give any kind of environment variable, you can give it here, environments. Okay, and environment will be like name and value. In this case, we are not giving any environment because we are not passing any environment here in this command. We will use that environment here. Okay, I'm just giving you. And for network, we can create our own network, but if Docker Compose create by default their own network, and it will add all the container that you are trying to run by Docker Compose into the same network. So you can comment it out. We will use the default network. Similarly, we are not using it here right now, so you can comment this also. Okay, now this is the environment variable when we pass hyphen env or hyphen e in the docker run command. And if we have a file, that we can use env. Okay, so something env file, so you need to pass the file name here. So let's say this one, like this, you can pass it if you have, but in this command, in this container, we don't have anything. Okay, so I think this is done. MongoDB container name and volume we have given, and hyphen t will take care, we will take care rm automatically done. Non name we have given, we are using default network volume we have given, so we are done with this. Let's move to the another. Let's create our, let's say, application. For application, we are going to create it. Okay, we need to give the indentation of two, you can the two spaces. Okay, here, so here you can give the image. Okay, let's say if I am my image, every time I'm creating my image. Okay, so you can give this name in my image, but we are not going to give this image name. We're going to give we want to Docker Compose to create an image and store it in local, so we are not going to give this. Okay, so after this, we are going to, you can say, the build. We need to give the build. We want Docker Compose to create a file for us. Okay, context. Okay, so here, where the docker, you have a docker file, we have a current directory in the docker file. What is the docker file name? That is the docker file. This is the docker file. We are in the current directory. Context, so file name is docker file. Okay, docker file. And if you have any kind of argument, you can pass it. Like if you have any kind of arguments, you know that how we pass that argument. You can pass it everything. Okay, some arguments, colon, but we don't have anything, so we will comment this. Okay, okay, so we are going to not using the context also. I'm just telling you the way we can do that, but we are not doing it. Okay, so here, some, this is the format. Okay, we are going to use the build. Okay, and we are going to give the path of the file. It will automatically take the docker file, and we are going to give the container name as we gave here, my app. You know, we always use my app. Till now we are using till my app. Here the port number. Okay, so we have given the docker file name. We are need to give the port number. The port number we are using this one. Okay, so we will use the same port number colon ports, and you can give multiple ports if you are exposing multiple ports. So here we are host port is 3000 and 7000 are the container ports. Okay, now we will give the volume. So here we have a three volumes actually, so we need to give all volumes. One is the volume, we have a named volume, that is my volume, this one. So we will use the same as it is, space here. Second volume is we will use uh, dot slash app. Okay, okay, so if this is the bind mount, this is the bind mount. We are here, we are giving the absolute path, but in Docker Compose we need to give the relative path. So chapter 6 is a path we are giving, so we are mapping the $6 and dot slash everything with the slash app. And after this we have a slash app. We are using this not modules unnamed volume, we are going to map. We need to write like this. Okay, so this is done. And now you need to environment variable. We also have environment file here. Environment file, we have mapped this volume, we have mapped this volume also, we have mapped the wine pound also. Now we're going to be this one. So for this env file, and we are going to this file name is dot slash dot env. This is the file name, a path of this file. Okay, we are giving this, and after this we need to define one more thing. Okay, everything is almost done, means we have defined the bind point, this network, why we were going to the default port number, we have mounted container from here to here, everything we have done, I think. So only the one thing is pending. We can make a dependency of means application on this one. So we can say that like this, depend on. Okay, we need to give the Mongo this one. Okay, so we are once this service application services depend on Mongo. So everything is done, only one thing is pending, that is volumes. In case of named volume, in case of named volume only, okay, we need to mention that named volume here in the end. Whatever the named volume we have used the named volume here, data. So you need to mention data here colon. Second thing you mention this one, you need to mention here. Okay, okay, one more thing, just want to mention that. Okay, let me run it and then I will tell you okay what is that problem. Okay, so everything is done, we have configured all two services here. Whatever we have running the command till now, that is we have configured it. Okay, so we have configured the image part docker file, where the docker file, we have configured all the port on map volumes, we have configured the network, we are going to use the default network, and we don't need to do anything related to this, because when we stop it, it will automatically stop it. So there is a command of docker compose up, you can run it, but it will fail. Okay, in Windows it will fail, but I will tell you the reason. Okay, ports must be a limit. Okay, so here the limit, we need to give this is like this. Okay, okay, it's trying to download that, it will. Okay, okay, so it's done. Let's do one thing, see what is running right now. Okay, okay, both the container are up and running. Ideally this named this wine point should fail, because it was failing for me when I was testing it first time. Okay, so this is the thing I was testing. Okay, so let's run the application. Let's see if application is running fine or both the container are up and running. Okay, so we have a URLs, you know that we have a localhost 3000 fast data, and this one, this is running fine, and this is also running fine. Good, both the URL one format. If I see logs of my app, it is able to connect to the MongoDB. Okay, and it's also it's doing hitting the public URL, and it's also saving the files. So So Docker compose, you can say Docker. Okay, we are running here. So control double uh, two times control C, it will stop your container. Okay, Docker minus A. So your container will exit, not stop. Okay, so for let me delete it. Okay, then I will tell you how to Mongo. Okay, so container is deleted. So whenever we are starting this, we can run it in detach mode. Okay, so it will, if you see, it's creating a container, Mongo container. It's creating a container, my app container. Okay, it's so, and if we see, uh, both the container are running in detach mode, up and running. But now if I run it, down it, okay, down command, if we use it, it will remove the container and also delete the container. If you see ps minus a now, you will not see the container. Okay, if you run not in detach mode, um, without hyphen d, you need to if you cancel it by hyphen interval two times of control c in windows, uh, the container will exit, but it will not delete automatically. But docker compose down, your container will be deleted. So one more thing command is docker compose. So image is created. Okay, one thing is, to show you, images have been created. So if I run docker compose again, up again, it will not create, it will use these two images from the local. Okay, and I want, in the, if you see the first command, it, in first command when it run, it created an image. Okay, it's created an image and then it started. Okay, but in this command it's not. So for, if you want is the up command to always build your image, then you can run it. So it's no such. Okay, so okay, so up, not up, without up is build. So it's building the command. Okay, that's it from my side. I think we have covered all the command that is available to the docker compose, up and down and build and detach mode. Okay, and next we will receive more command related to the Docker or Docker Compose. So let me know if you need any help here. Means I have covered everything related to the Docker Compose. I have created a Docker file also where we have two services, MongoDB and the App application. I have covered environment variable, volumes, ports, and everything that is possible. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.